The airport terminal buzzed with the frantic energy of holiday travelers. But Pierce Thompson froze when he saw the older man collapse near the security line. Without thinking, Pierce dropped his carry-on and rushed over, kneeling beside the veteran whose faded army jacket bore a Purple Heart pin, his face pale and twisted in pain. By the time paramedics arrived and Pierce had helped stabilize him, his flight to Chicago for the family Christmas gathering had taxied away without him. And then the alarms blared, announcing a full lockdown due to a suspicious package threat. Pierce's heart pounded as security personnel herded everyone into holding areas, phones lighting up with frantic texts from his sister. "Where are you? Mom's freaking out." He glanced at the veteran, now sitting up on a stretcher, his eyes meeting Pierce's with a mix of gratitude and exhaustion. "You didn't have to do that, son," the man rasped, his voice carrying the weight of years in service. "Name's Ryan Caldwell. OU1. As the lockdown dragged on, hours turning into an eternity of recycled air and tense whispers, Pierce found himself drawn into conversation with Ryan. The veteran was in his late 40s, broad-shouldered but gaunt, with scars peeking from under his collar that hinted at battles fought far from home. Ryan had been heading to a VA appointment in D.C., but a flare-up of his old injury had hit him like a freight train. "PTSD doesn't just mess with your head," Ryan said quietly, staring at the floor. "It sneaks up on your body too." Pierce nodded, sharing bits of his own life. A corporate job in marketing in New York, the pressure to succeed, the unspoken secrets he carried. He didn't mention the real reason he dreaded the family trip: the fear of coming out to his conservative parents in the Midwest suburbs. The lockdown lifted after 5 grueling hours, but flights were grounded for the night. Pierce booked a hotel room nearby, offering to split it with Ryan since the veteran was stranded too. "No strings," Pierce insisted, though a spark of something unfamiliar stirred in his chest. Ryan hesitated, then accepted with a wry smile. In the dim hotel lobby, as they checked in, Pierce's phone rang. His father, voice stern. "You missed the flight? For what? Some stranger?" "Family comes first, Pierce." The words stung, echoing the expectations that had shaped his life. Straight A's, straight path, straight everything. That night, in the shared room with 2 queen beds, conversation flowed like whiskey after a long day. Ryan opened up about his tours in Afghanistan, the friends lost, the silence that followed his discharge when he realized his attraction to men wasn't just a phase. Came home a hero, but felt like a fraud, Ryan admitted, his voice cracking. Tried marriage, kids, didn't work. Divorced now. Barely see my son because his mom thinks I'm a bad influence. Pierce listened, his own walls crumbling. He'd dated women in college to fit in, but the truth had gnawed at him for years. "I get it," Pierce whispered. "My family's the type that quotes Bible verses at dinner. If they knew." Morning brought rescheduled flights, but Pierce chose to delay his again, driving Ryan to his VA appointment instead. It was impulsive, reckless even, but the connection felt real. 2 men navigating hidden lives in a world that demanded conformity. Back in New York after dropping Ryan off, Pierce ignored the mounting voicemails from home. Work emails piled up, his boss questioning his reliability. But Ryan's texts came in. "Thanks for everything. Coffee sometime?" Pierce smiled, typing back yes, unaware that this decision would unravel the carefully constructed facade of his life. As weeks passed, their meetings evolved from coffee to dinners, walks in Central Park where autumn leaves crunched underfoot. Ryan shared stories of camaraderie in the barracks, the unspoken bonds that blurred lines. Pierce confessed his fears, the promotion at work hinging on fitting the company image, the family reunion where he'd have to dodge questions about girlfriends. "It's like living in a cage," Pierce said one evening. As they sat on a bench overlooking the reservoir, Ryan reached out, his hand brushing Pierce's, a tentative touch that sent electricity through him. "Cages have keys," Ryan replied. "You just have to turn them." But shadows loomed. Pierce's mother called, her voice laced with worry. Your distant honey. Is there someone? Bring her home. The lie burned on his tongue. At work, rumors swirled when a colleague spotted him with Ryan. Who's the older guy? Mentor. The questions probed too deep. Ryan faced his own battles. Custody hearings where his ex-wife's lawyer painted him as unstable due to his lifestyle choices. Society says we're heroes until we're human, Ryan muttered after a brutal court day. One night, over shared pizza in Ryan's small Brooklyn apartment, the tension broke. They kissed. Not out of lust, but a desperate need for authenticity. It was a quiet revolution, but the aftermath hit hard. Pierce's sister, visiting unexpectedly, saw a text from Ryan pop up on his phone. Who's that? Sounds intimate. Her eyes widened in realization. Pierce, are you? The confrontation escalated, her tears mixing with accusations of betrayal. How could you hide this? What about Mom and Dad? Pierce drove her to the train station in silence, the weight of her words crushing him. That evening, Ryan held him as he broke down. I can't lose them, Pierce sobbed. But I can't lose this either. Ryan nodded, his own scars reminding him of the cost. Love isn't free, kid. It's a battlefield. The holidays approached, and Pierce faced a choice. Attend the family gathering alone, pretending, or invite Ryan and risk everything. He chose the latter, booking tickets for both. But as they boarded the train to Chicago, doubt crept in. What if this destroyed his family? What price was he willing to pay? The train rattled through the snowy Midwest landscape, Pierce's hand discreetly intertwined with Ryan's under a folded coat. This could go south fast, Pierce whispered, staring out at the blurred farms. Ryan squeezed his hand. We've faced worse. I stormed villages. You can handle Aunt Karen's casserole. But humor couldn't mask the anxiety coiling in Pierce's gut. His parents' home in the Chicago suburbs represented stability. Sunday dinners, backyard barbecues, the illusion of normalcy he'd clung to. Arriving at the station, Pierce's father picked them up, his handshake with Ryan firm but questioning. Friend from New York? Dad asked, eyeing Ryan's veteran jacket. Colleague? Pierce slid smoothly, the word tasting like ash. At home, the house smelled of pine and baking cookies, Mom enveloping him in a hug. We've missed you so much. Introductions were awkward. Ryan as an army vet I met at the airport. The family nodded politely, but whispers followed when they stepped away. Dinner that first night was a minefield. Pierce's brother, Mark, a cop with a no-nonsense demeanor, grilled Ryan about his service. Respect, man. What branch? Ryan answered steadily, but when talk turned to family, tension spiked. Divorced, huh? Kids? Mark pressed. Ryan glanced at Pierce. One son. Complicated custody. Mom changed the subject, but Pierce saw the judgment in her eyes, the subtle disapproval of broken homes. Later, in the guest room they shared, Mom assuming buddies wouldn't mind, Pierce paced. They're suspicious. Ryan pulled him close. Give them time. Or don't. Your call. But time ran short. The next day, at the extended family gathering, Uncle Joe, a retired pastor, launched into a rant about modern morals eroding society. All this gender nonsense, same-sex whatever. It's against God's plan. Pierce's fork clattered, his face flushing. Ryan's jaw tightened, but he stayed silent. Pierce couldn't. Uncle Joe, people love who they love. It's not a choice. The room hushed. Dad frowned. Pierce, let's not get political at Christmas. But the seed was planted. That night, Mark cornered Pierce in the garage. What's really going on with you and Ryan? He's not just a friend, is he? Pierce's heart raced. What if he's more? Mark's face hardened. Dad will have a heart attack. Mom's already fragile after her surgery. Think about them. The confrontation escalated when Pierce's sister, Emily, arrived the next day. She'd kept his secret but now urged confession. They deserve to know. Gathered in the living room, Pierce took a breath. Mom, Dad, everyone, I'm gay. And Ryan, he's my partner. Silence exploded into chaos. Mom gasped, tears streaming. How long? Why hide it? Dad stood, face red. This isn't you, Pierce. It's that city influencing you. Uncle Joe quoted scripture, calling it a sin. Ryan defended, I've served this country, lost friends for freedom, including the freedom to love. But Dad turned on him. You corrupted my son. The argument raged, accusations flying. Emily tried mediating, but Mark sided with Dad. You're choosing a stranger over family? Hurt. Pierce shot back. I'm choosing to be honest. The night ended with Dad storming out, Mom retreating to bed sobbing. Morning brought fallout. Dad demanded Ryan leave. He's not welcome. Pierce refused. If he goes, I go. The standoff broke when Mom intervened, her voice weak. Stay for now. Let's talk. But talks devolved into pleas. Think of your future, Pierce. Marriage, kids, the normal life. Ryan shared his story, the failed marriage, the son he fought to see. I tried normal. It nearly killed me. Dad softened slightly, respecting the veteran status, but insisted, this isn't our values. As days blurred, Pierce grappled with inner turmoil. Was he selfish? The family pressure mounted. Cousins avoiding him, whispers about disgrace. Ryan faced his own demons. A call from his ex-wife, threatening to use this new relationship against him in court. She's saying I'm unstable. Pierce felt the weight. His choice affected Ryan too. New Year's Eve, a family tradition of fireworks, turned pivotal. Alone with Dad on the porch, Pierce confessed, I've hidden this for years because I love you. But loving Ryan doesn't mean I love you less. Dad sighed, revealing his own regrets. I fought in Vietnam, saw men die hiding who they were. But society, it's hard. A crack in the armor. Yet, the divide widened when Emily accidentally outed them to extended relatives via a group chat. Backlash poured in, texts condemning, some supportive but few. Pierce's boss called, heard about your situation. Company image matters. Promotion jeopardized. Returning to New York, Pierce and Ryan clung together on the train. Was it worth it? Pierce asked. Ryan nodded. Truth always is. But the cost. Pierce stared out, wondering if bridges burned could rebuild. Back home, reality hit. Pierce's parents cut contact temporarily, needing space. Ryan's custody hearing loomed, his ex wielding the relationship as ammunition. They say two dads aren't fit. Pierce supported him, attending court, but the judge's stern gaze amplified doubts. One evening, after a grueling day, Pierce broke. Maybe we should have stayed hidden. Ryan held him. Hiding's a slow death. This is living with scars. The relationship deepened amid chaos, but societal whispers followed. Stares in public, a colleague's snide remark. Pierce lost a client pitch, blamed on distractions. Ryan's VA therapy intensified, unpacking trauma intertwined with identity. A turning point came when Pierce's mom called unexpectedly. I miss my son. Tentative reconciliation began, emails, then visits. But Dad remained distant, the mending slow. Spring thawed the New York streets, but Pierce's world felt frozen in uncertainty. His promotion slipped away, handed to a straight-laced colleague who fit the mold better. It's not personal, his boss said, but the subtext screamed otherwise. Pierce buried himself in work, channeling frustration into late nights, while Ryan navigated his custody battle. The court granted partial visitation, but with stipulations. No introducing partners until the boy was older. It's progress, Ryan said, but his eyes betrayed defeat. Their relationship tested under pressure. Arguments flared, Pierce resenting Ryan's stoic military mindset, Ryan frustrated by Pierce's lingering family ties. You still chase their approval, Ryan accused one night. after Pierce skipped a date to answer his mom's call. "And you push everyone away," Pierce retorted. The makeup was raw, apologies whispered in the dark, but cracks formed. Society's weight pressed harder. At a pride event they attended cautiously, a heckler shouted slurs, reminding them safety wasn't guaranteed. Ryan's PTSD triggered, flashbacks blending war zones with current fears. "I fought for this country, and it still hates parts of me," he confessed in therapy, Pierce by his side. Pierce's own inner conflict raged. Guilt over fracturing his family versus the liberation of authenticity. A family wedding in summer forced confrontation. Pierce's cousin invited him, +1 optional. "Bring Ryan," Emily encouraged via text. Dad's response, "If he comes, I won't." The ultimatum stung. Pierce debated, weighing loyalty. "Go without me," Ryan offered. "Family's blood." But Pierce refused. "You're my family now." They attended together, heads high. The reception was a battlefield. Relatives murmured, some warm, others cold. Uncle Joe avoided them. Dad approached stiffly. "Didn't expect you both." Conversation halted, but Mom hugged Ryan. "Thank you for making my son happy." A small victory amid tension. Mark pulled Pierce aside. "This divides us. Is he worth it?" Pierce nodded. "Love is." Post-wedding backlash hit. Dad's email, "You've chosen your path. Respect mine by keeping distance." The rejection crushed Pierce, triggering a spiral. He withdrew, questioning everything. What if they're right? What if I'm wrong? Ryan listened, but his own burdens mounted. A job loss due to restructuring. Suspicion it was discrimination. They moved in together, a Brooklyn loft symbolizing commitment. But cohabitation amplified issues. Ryan's nightmares woke them. Pierce's anxiety fueled overwork. A heated fight erupted when Pierce discovered Ryan had hidden a relapse into drinking. "You think I can't handle it?" Pierce yelled. Ryan snapped, "I don't want to drag you down." The betrayal cut deep, echoes of hidden lives. Reconciliation came through counseling. Their therapist, a queer veteran herself, unpacked layers. Societal trauma, internalized homophobia. You're not just fighting each other. You're fighting the world. Insights dawned. Pierce's people-pleasing rooted in childhood. Ryan's walls from military don't ask, don't tell era. Fall brought unexpected allies. Emily visited, bridging gaps with stories of changing church views. Some are evolving. She convinced Mom to meet halfway, a neutral coffee in Philadelphia. Tears flowed. Mom admitting fears of losing Pierce to that life. Pierce explaining it's who he is. "I love Ryan like you love Dad." Mom softened. "Give me time." Dad remained stubborn, but a health scare shifted dynamics. A minor heart episode landed him in hospital. Pierce rushed home, Ryan insisting on coming. In the waiting room, Dad whispered, "Didn't think you'd come." Pierce, "Family does." Ryan's presence, offering quiet support, chipped at Dad's resolve. "He seems solid," Dad grudgingly admitted. Discharge day, Dad invited them for dinner. Awkward but progress. Talk turned to Ryan's service. Shared veteran stories bonded them. "War changes you," Dad said. Ryan, "So does love." A tentative truce. But society struck back. Pierce's company faced a PR crisis when a client discovered his lifestyle via social media. "We can't afford controversy." Demotion loomed. Ryan's ex escalated custody, citing unstable home. Court dates drained them financially, emotionally. In a moment of despair, Pierce considered breaking up. "Maybe alone is easier." Ryan fought back. "That's surrender. We've come too far." They recommitted, attending support groups where stories mirrored theirs. Lost jobs, estranged families, but also triumphs. Winter holidays approached again. A full circle. Pierce proposed a small gathering in New York. Mom agreed. Dad hesitated but came. Tensions simmered. but laughter emerged over shared meals. Uncle Joe stayed away, but others warmed. Ryan's son visited briefly, a supervised meet where the boy asked innocent questions. "Are you Dad's friend?" Ryan, "More than that." The simplicity healed. Yet not all mended. Dad's full acceptance lagged. Occasional slips revealing bias. Pierce's career stalled, forcing a job hunt. Ryan's therapy continued, battles ongoing. One evening, watching snowfall, Pierce reflected. Decisions carried prices, lost opportunities, scarred relationships, but also gains. Authenticity, love. "Worth it?" he asked Ryan. Every scar. The story built to a crescendo, choices defining them amid unrelenting pressures. As the new year dawned, Pierce faced a career crossroads. His demotion at the marketing firm became official, a realignment that slashed his salary and sidelined him from key projects. "It's business," his boss claimed. But Pierce knew the whispers about his personal life had poisoned the well. Job interviews followed, each probing subtly. "Tell us about your support system." He answered honestly, watching faces shift. One offer came from a progressive startup, but at half the pay. "Take it," Ryan urged. "It's a fresh start." Pierce accepted, trading security for integrity, the price of visibility. Ryan's custody saga intensified. His ex-wife's lawyer painted their home as non-traditional, citing studies on confused children. Ryan countered with expert testimony. Love is love. The judge, an older man with a military background, seemed sympathetic but ruled conservatively. Visitation increased, but overnights delayed. Prove stability. Ryan masked his devastation, but nights found him staring at photos of his son. "I fought wars for freedom, yet can't freely parent." Pierce held him, sharing the burden. "We'll fight this together." Societal undercurrents surged. A local news story on LGBTQ rights featured a veteran like Ryan, sparking online vitriol. Trolls targeted Ryan's social media, dredging his past. Hero turned deviant. The harassment escalated to threats, forcing them to privatize accounts. Pierce's new job offered support, a diversity initiative, but colleagues' pitying looks grated. "You're brave," one said. Pierce thought, brave for existing? Inner conflicts peaked during a therapy session. Pierce admitted resentment. "Sometimes I blame you for appending my life." Ryan recoiled. "You chose this." The therapist intervened. Blame shifts focus from growth. They unpacked Pierce's fear of abandonment mirroring childhood dynamics, Ryan's guilt from failed marriage. Catharsis followed, strengthening bonds. Family mending continued unevenly. Mom visited New York, touring their loft. "Cozy," she said, avoiding the shared bedroom. Over dinner, she shared, "Your dad reads articles now, trying to understand." Progress, but Dad's calls remained surface level. Emily pushed, "Invite them to Pride." Pierce laughed it off, but the idea lingered. Summer brought a crisis. Ryan's PTSD flared during a fireworks show, triggering a panic attack. Pierce guided him home, but the episode strained them. "I feel like a liability," Ryan confessed. "Pierce, you're my strength." But doubt crept. Could he handle this long-term? A betrayal shattered trust. Pierce's old colleague, jealous of his resilience, leaked personal emails to the family group chat. Intimate messages between Pierce and Ryan. Uncle Joe exploded. "Proof of sin!" Dad called furious. "How could you expose us?" Pierce defended. "It's my life." The fallout isolated them further. Some relatives cut ties. Rebuilding demanded action. Pierce organized a family Zoom, laying bare emotions. "Hiding hurt me. Honesty heals." Mom advocated. "He's our son." Dad grumbled but listened. Mark surprised. "I've seen enough hate on the job. Live your truth." Fractures mended slowly. Ryan's turn came in court. With Pierce's testimony, "He's the most stable man I know," and letters from VA therapists, The judge expanded custody. First overnight, Ryan's son, Timmy, wide-eyed in their home. Two dads. Timmy asked Ryan if that's okay. The boy nodded, playing games. A milestone, but Ryan's ex lingered as a threat. Career-wise, Pierce thrived at the startup, leading a campaign on inclusivity. Recognition followed and award media spotlights, but visibility invited scrutiny. A conservative blog attacked, calling him agenda pusher. Hate mail arrived, testing resolve. In fall, a moral dilemma arose. Pierce's firm pitched a client with anti-LGBTQ ties. Decline, his gut said. He did, risking the account. Boss supported. Integrity first. The choice paid off. New clients aligned with values flooded in. Ryan proposed volunteering at a veterans LGBTQ group. Give back. They did, mentoring others. Stories echoed theirs. Hidden service, post-discharge isolation. One young vet shared suicide attempts. Ryan's empathy saved him. Purpose emerged from pain. Holidays tested gains. Hosting in New York, family attended cautiously. Dad shook Ryan's hand firmly. Thanks for your service, and for Pierce. Laughter mixed with tears. Uncle Joe absent, but absence spoke volumes. Yet not idyllic. A family argument reignited old wounds. Dad's slip. It's unnatural. Pierce challenged. Love is natural. Resolution came through dialogue, growth incremental. As winter set in, Pierce reflected on the journey. Missed flight leading to love. Lockdown symbolizing trapped secrets. Choices. Helping a stranger. Coming out. Fighting bias. Exacted tolls. Lost jobs. Strained ties. Emotional scars. But rewards. Deeper connections. Self-acceptance. One night, Ryan proposed. A simple ring, promise of forever. Through battles, Pierce accepted, tears flowing. But doubt whispered. Was forever possible in a divided world? The story hurtled toward climax, decisions defining legacies. Engagement news spread ripples. Pierce's mom called excited. A wedding, but Dad hesitated. It's not traditional. The contrast highlighted ongoing divides. Planning began small. A city hall ceremony, intimate reception. Invites went out selectively, anticipating rejections. Uncle Joe declined harshly. Against my faith. Others surprised with acceptances. Like Mark. Proud of you, bro. Ryan's ex reacted predictably. Another court motion, claiming instability. Marriage doesn't change facts, her lawyer argued. Ryan prepared wearily, gathering affidavits. Pierce stood firm. This strengthens us. The hearing turned grueling, judge questioning. How does this affect the child? Ryan's response. Shows commitment, love. Ruling favored them, no changes, a win amid wars. Societal backlash intensified with publicity. A local paper featured their story. Veteran and partner defy odds. Comments ranged supportive to vile. Threats escalated. A brick through their window, scrawled with slurs. Police investigated as hate crime, but fear lingered. Move, Pierce suggested. Ryan, no running. Inner turmoil resurfaced. Pierce questioned, is love worth the danger? Nightmares plagued him. Family disowning, Ryan harmed. Therapy helped. Fear is the enemy's weapon. Ryan's PTSD therapy intertwined. Group sessions revealing shared veteran struggles. Don't ask. Don't tell. Scars deep. A turning point. Dad visited unannounced. Heard about the brick. Worried. Over coffee, vulnerability emerged. I grew up in a different time, but seeing you happy challenges me. Pierce, that's enough. Hugs followed, bridges strengthening. Wedding preparations amplified emotions. Dress shopping with Emily. Ryan's son as ring bearer. Timmy excited. I get two grandpas? Innocence contrasted adult complexities. But costs mounted, emotional, financial. Pierce's startup hit a rough patch, layoffs looming. Timing sucks, he vented. Ryan, life doesn't wait. Betrayal struck from within. A cousin, feigning support, leaked wedding details to conservative forums. Protesters planned pickets. Cancel, friends advised. Pierce and Ryan debated fiercely. This is our stand, Ryan decided. They proceeded, hiring security. The day arrived crisp, Central Park venue blooming. Vows exchanged, Pierce promising through storms, Ryan in peace and war. Cheers erupted, but protesters' chants echoed distantly. Dad walked Pierce down the aisle, a symbolic gesture. Mom beamed. Mark toasted, to love winning. Honeymoon in the Catskills offered respite, hikes, quiet nights. But reality intruded. Work emails for Pierce, custody updates for Ryan. Reflection deepened. Choices led here, helping at the airport, embracing truth. Prices paid. Fractured kinships, career setbacks, safety risks. Gains, unity, purpose. Post-wedding, challenges persisted. Ryan's promotion at a nonprofit for vets came with scrutiny. Pierce's firm stabilized, but bias lingered. Family dynamics evolved, holidays inclusive, Dad engaging Ryan in talks. Yet, slips occurred, awkward questions about kids. A moral quandary arose when Timmy's school faced anti-LGBTQ policies. Ryan advocated, Pierce joining protests. For our future, they said. Backlash. Anonymous calls, but allies rallied. Victory. Policy changed. As years blurred, wait. No, the story spans months, but feels eternal, growth manifested. Pierce mentored young LGBTQ professionals. Ryan led veteran support. Their home became a haven for strays, friends in crisis. One evening, anniversary approaching, Pierce found Ryan poring over old photos. Missed flight changed everything. Pierce, best miss ever. Laughter, then seriousness. Regrets. Ryan, none. You, none, but awareness of ongoing battles. Society shifted slowly, laws protecting but hearts lagging. Family fully accepted? Not yet, but closer. Ryan, too, confronted his demons anew. His son's increasing time with them brought joy, but also scrutiny from school officials and his ex. Is this environment suitable? A counselor asked once, forcing Ryan to defend his love as if it were a crime. The fights in court had drained their savings, and Ryan's job at the nonprofit paid modestly, prioritizing mission over money. We chose this path, Ryan reminded Pierce during a late-night talk, knowing the terrain. Societal pressures didn't abate. A promotion opportunity for Pierce at work came with a caveat. Tone down the activism. He refused, accepting stagnation over compromise. This choice sparked an argument with Ryan. We need stability, but Pierce held firm. Stability without self-respect is imprisonment. Reconciliation came through mutual understanding. Their love an anchor amid storms. Family reconciliation deepened gradually. Dad joined a PFLAG meeting, surprising everyone. Learning, he admitted over a video call. Mom sent care packages, including recipes adapted for your household. Mark visited with his family, his kids playing with Timmy, normalizing the blend. Yet, betrayals surfaced sporadically. A distant relative spread rumors, leading to a temporary rift. Pierce's inner voice questioned, was outing myself a mistake? Therapy affirmed no, growth through pain. As spring returned, symbolizing renewal, Pierce and Ryan volunteered at a youth center, sharing their story. A teen confided, you give me hope. Purpose solidified, their struggles fueling change. The awakening culminated in quiet moments. Walks hand in hand without fear, family dinners without pretense. But perfection eluded. Life remained a tapestry of triumphs and trials. With the passage of another year, Pierce and Ryan's life settled into a rhythm marked by hard-won peace. The airport incident, once a shock, now felt like destiny. a missed flight birthing a found family. Pierce's career at the startup flourished. His inclusivity campaigns went viral, earning accolades. From demoted to celebrated, he joked. But the journey's scars reminded him of resilience. Ryan's custody achieved full joint status after relentless advocacy. Timmy thrived, calling Pierce Uncle, evolving to bonus dad. School events became joint affairs, Ryan's ex softening over time. He's happy, that matters. The victory tasted sweet, but Ryan knew vigilance was eternal. Societal shifts aided them. Supreme Court rulings bolstered protections, but local battles persisted. A neighborhood dispute over pride flags tested community. Neighbors divided, but support prevailed. Pierce led the charge, his voice stronger. Family integration completed the circle. Holidays in Chicago included Ryan and Timmy. Dad sharing war stories with Ryan, bonds forging over shared service. Mom baked Ryan's favorite pie, Uncle Joe's absence noted but not mourned. Mark confided, "You changed my views." Emily's wedding featured them as groomsmen, a full embrace. Inner peace eluded complete grasp. Pierce occasionally mourned the easy life foregone, corporate ladder, heteronormative facade. Ryan battled PTSD flares, but therapy and love mitigated. "We're works in progress," they agreed. A final trial, Ryan's health scare, an old injury resurfacing, requiring surgery. Pierce's devotion shone, nights at hospital, advocating fiercely. Recovery bonded them deeper, Timmy's drawings adorning walls. Awakening fully realized. Love demanded sacrifices, but repaid in authenticity. Decisions, helping the veteran, embracing identity, defying norms, exacted prices. Lost illusions, battled biases, emotional tolls. Yet the narrative closed on hope. Was Pierce right to prioritize his love for Ryan over the safety of his family's traditional expectations?